former quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and Randy Grimes, who played his whole career with a little team called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Locally, I know.
So
Played with a lot of different QBs we were looking up.
yes, so we'll kind of jump in, ask him about, because he was center for the Bucks for many years. We'll ask him. It could kind of be quarterback centric, big heavy quarterback show today.
And
So
um, my co-host will agree with me. I'm going to bring this up, and then we're going to have a little friendly discussion here. He'll
Yes.
bring it up. We want to bring up to you where you can see us. We're live streaming right now on YouTube and Facebook Live.
yes,
And it also will be available on the Anchor app wherever podcasts are available. So tune in
Yes.
with us and follow us. Everything you need is right there, as well as we're live now. And you want to
So-
get into our friendly debates that we're going to have right now
Yes.
with our QB coming up?
Yeah, so we figured since we're talking to a former quarterback, we'll kind of discuss our top 10 NFL quarterbacks of all time. So we'll kind of. Are we doing that now, or is that later in the show?
We can get into a little bit of it.
You want to
now.
go like 10 to 6, and then our top 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can do that.
We could do that.
So go ahead with your
So
first up. Since you are the host tonight, you're first up. So give me
Yeah.
your number 10.
So number 10, I think is a surprise here. I went with Warren Moon.
That is a good. Wow, Warren Moon. I would have never thought Warren Moon.
I went Warren Moon because he played in the Canadian Football League for a while. I think his first 6 years he played. And I think a lot of it was because NFL GMs didn't want to give a black quarterback a chance. So, and when someone gave him a chance, he played really well. So it's a surprise pick.
Not to mention he played for sorry teams too.
Right, and
Sorry
that's the other
Seattle
thing.
teams. Nobody even knew of him hardly.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, I went Warren Moon for 10, and I'm sure he's not on your top 10, which I wouldn't expect most people's top 10 would include Warren Moon. So.
My number 10 is a bombshell to most people.
Oh gosh.
I am going with Peyton Manning
At 10.
at 10. And the reason
Okay.
why I say this.
I don't want to look to see. Okay.
The reason why I say this is because Peyton Manning, yes, he's got the yards, he's got the touchdowns, he's got 2 Super Bowls, but I just don't think he's in the top 9 of the quarterbacks that I have left.
You don't think he's ahead? Okay.
I don't think he's ahead of them. That's
All right.
I just don't think. I just think the
Sure.
other 9 are better.
So my number 9, I went Drew Brees. Look, grew up watching him. He's been in the league for a while, done a lot of great things. I went Drew Brees. So he's probably not in a lot of, again, maybe not in a lot of people's top 10, which I think a lot of people would have him in your top. Who's your 9?
My number 9 is Joe Namath.
Okay. Yeah.
Winner of the first Super Bowl.
Sure. Yeah. I no argument there.
Went to a couple Super Bowls. Yes, he didn't have the yardage and the touchdowns like other QBs did in the Hall of Fame, but he definitely deserved it for being the main guy in that era, I think. This was tough because this is totally different eras. So
right,
it
and that's
was
the
tough.
other thing. And yeah, am I biased to kind of this era? Maybe, yeah, because I didn't see him play. So 8, I went John Elway.
Okay.
I went John Elway. I mean, I think people would have him in the top 10. I think he's going to be in most people's top 10. Probably higher than 8 for some people, but I went 8.
For my number 8, I went Phillip Rivers.
Okay, that's completely like out of left field, but I'm not surprised because it's Byron.
Look, he don't have a Super Bowl, but look, he's got the yards, he's got the touchdowns. Look at what he did all them years with San Diego
So he has
to now LA Chargers.
He has everything that Peyton Manning has, but minus the rings, but Peyton Manning's 10.
Yes.
Can't say that makes sense, but okay.
Makes perfect sense to me, but go ahead.
7, I went Roger Staubach. Again, not in our era, but from the research I've done, he was really good back in his day.
Number 7, your boy now, and my hated boy, Tom Brady. And yes, I'm saying that. The so-called GOAT on my list is number 7.
You're looking at mine. You saw who number 1 is.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't, honestly. So, booyah.
It's not Tim Tebow. So.
But I say he's number 7 because, yes, he does have the rings. He's with Belichick. That's one of the reasons why I kind of ranked him that way, because a lot of that is due to the success with Belichick. You can't say it was all Brady. It was the both of them.
You can't say that with any quarterback. It's not, that quarterback won them a Super Bowl. It's a team game. I mean, there's 11 on the field.
To me, he's not the GOAT, and he came out, he cheated. So
okay. All right. So you have set.
That's why
Tom
he's
Brady
down.
at 7.
That's why he's down on my list.
I guess I could say I'm surprised he's even in your top 10. So, 6 I went.
I had to be fair here.
Yes, 6 I went Brett Favre.
Okay.
Of course, the yardage there, Super Bowl.
That's a good one.
I think he's in most people's top 10. So I would say 6.
Number 6, I went Troy Aikman. Yes, his career was short, but look how many Super Bowls he won in a short period of time. Look how many.
No, he didn't win them. It's the team did. Jimmy Johnson did.
Whatever. And yes, he did have concussion issues, but in the short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean.
3 Super Bowls in 5 years, I think it was, that he won. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
The last time the
Something
Cowboys
like that,
won.
yeah. So that's why he's in my top 6. And
I think it's high, but I mean, he's not in my top 10.
So there you have it. That's our top 6.
No, not tops. That's
bottom 4. Sorry, bottom 4.
Yeah,
6 through 10. So we'll get back with that, but right now we'll
give our top 5 later in the show.
Let's call up our first guest, former New Orleans Saints QB, John Fourcade.
Yo.
Hi, good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to the Sports Nerds, John.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, guys.
Appreciate it. This is Eric and Byron. So today on the show we have John Fourcade, a quarterback at Ole Miss and for the New Orleans Saints. And thanks for joining us.
No, my pleasure, guys. A little bit raining down here today. You caught me on a good day, relaxing at the house and listening to the rain.
Oh, okay. Nice. So where's home for you?
I live here in the outskirts of New Orleans. I live in the West Bank, either Gretna or Marrero. You can pick either one. I've lived at both places.
Gotcha. So I'll kind of get right into it. So obviously, I'll start kind of in your college days. You quarterbacked at Ole Miss, and what was it like quarterbacking and playing in the SEC and for a football-heavy school like Ole Miss?
Well, one was, when I got a chance to be recruited, I left high school and you can sit here and pick and choose basically with most kids getting recruited. And I had an opportunity of well over 200 offers. And
oh, wow.
I balled it down to this. I'm going to stick in the SEC, stay close to home. I mean, I could have gone to Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, Ole Miss. I mean, you can name it. I could have gone Florida State down that way, Florida, Georgia. Anywhere. But I decided to stay closer to home, and I went to Ole Miss. And the reason I went to Ole Miss was the fact that when I left high school, there's LSU right down the street. But LSU told me I wasn't going to play until I was a junior. And I really wanted to go to Alabama with Bear Bryant. And somehow Bear Bryant's offensive coordinator convinced that, hey, John, if you come here, you'll play as a junior. And, you don't want to hear that as a kid getting recruited. You won't play until you're a junior. And so basically, Ole Miss came across, and they had a new head coach, Steve Sloan, just took the job in December. that year, and I been being recruited, and I looked right at his face and said, "This is the deal. If you tell me I won't play until I'm a junior, I am not coming to Ole Miss."
Mm-hmm.
He's just been there a couple of weeks. He said, "Hey, how about if I tell you you'll play as a freshman?" And I'm like, "Can you put that in writing?" Well, they really couldn't do that, but I was being funny about, well, hell yeah, I get my opportunity. And they ran the same offense I ran in high school, same verbals, same everything we talked about. So I got to Ole Miss, and guess what? I get to start as a freshman. I worked my way up from the seventh quarterback to the first quarterback, and trust me, playing the SEC starting at the age of 17 years old was a little tough. You know, I didn't turn 18 till October in 1978, so I got my butt handed to me, and we didn't do very well. 5-6 my first year, but as the years went along at Ole Miss, I'll say this much: we could score points with the best of them, but our defense can sure give up points with the best of them. So we didn't have a very good defense, but we had a really good offense, and we didn't do very well from a record in going to bowl. But I left Ole Miss breaking pretty much all of Archie Manning's records. And then, obviously, who came along and broke mine? His name was Eli Manning.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Go figure.
Well, he did. He left me one record, and I appreciate that. I still hold the record, I believe, for most interceptions in one season. So I got that one.
There you go.
There you go. At least you got something, whether it be bad or not. But hey, you got something at least.
Hey, that means you played a lot. So.
Yeah, I did. That means we were losing a lot too.
But I want to get into your playing career with the Saints. I know you played around in the 80s, early 90s, and you played up against QBs, big names. Who was your favorite QB that you played against while you were QBing for the Saints?
Well, I started out with the Saints in '87, and back then I get to play against the Joe Montana. Marino was playing, but Joe Montana, because he was in our division, we could play him twice a year. That was a guy that was very, very much the guy. I played against Randall Cunningham. You go on and on back from '87 to '91. Randall was in Philadelphia, but being in our division, the Atlanta Falcons. You had the Rams. Everett was there a little bit, and before him. I'm trying to think who else they had there, but it was always Joe Montana. I got to be friends with him while I was playing. Just to watch him play, the guy wasn't big, wasn't strong, wasn't fast, but he got the job done. And he was, before there was Tom Brady, there was Joe Montana, and to today, they both can be called the GOAT.
Yeah, I agree on that. It's just hard. Well, I don't know if you've heard us or tuned in, but if you can tune on to us later and check us out. But we're debating right now the top 10 QBs of all time. And this was honestly a tough one for me and my co-host because it's different eras, different times, and it's hard to always do this, but it's fun to do it. Give us your top 10 list of all-time QBs.
The top few, like maybe top 3.
Well, I'm gonna give you this is the way because on my radio show we get this all the time. We've had people call in and talk about it, and it's so hard. I've been on other people's radio shows like I'm here tonight, and to pick them all out. Look, you're right. There's different times, there's different era, and the way they should do this is. Instead of saying who's the greatest of all time, you got to go let's go from when football first started. Let's say every 20 years you pick, or 15 years you pick quarterbacks. Look, there's Brady, there's Montana, and there's Elway, Brett Favre. You go on, and I'm telling you, I'm going to go. Terry Bradshaw's got to be up there. Let's be honest. Roger Staubach. Johnny Unitas. Then you go Otto Graham. You go back in those days. You go, God, on my Y.A. Tittle. I can go on and on and on. Then you got Dan Marino. There's too many. Drew Brees. I'm gonna throw Drew Brees because I think in the long run he's gonna be. Outstanding down the road. It's so many. I would tell you the top 5. I believe the top 5, definitely in my book, is definitely Brady, Montana and 1A. You know, they both the same. And then you got to have, you got to have Elway. Then you got to probably have Dan Marino. Then you got to have Brett Favre. And, I'm gonna throw in Fran Tarkenton. Then I mean, I could throw in, Terry Bradshaw, all the Super Bowls he won. So it's just hard to say we can top 5, 6. So you could probably pick 10 guys and move 5 of them around. But that's my core of who I think right now.
That's
fair.
That's fair enough, and that's fair. I mean, it really is tough. I mean, I hate doing this, but I agree with you. When everybody does this whole picking thing, you got to go by the eras. I mean, it's tough, especially now how they baby the quarterbacks in the league. It's a whole different era.
Yeah.
Well, you also remember back in the day when you had quarterbacks, even when I played, and probably a little bit before that, a lot of times guys were calling their own plays. Like Bradshaw would tell you, hey, we call our own. It wasn't like it is nowadays. People talking to your ear in a helmet. We didn't have that when I played. They singled in plays, but a lot of times you could call plays. So it's so much of a different era. That's like me saying, hey guys, tell me who you think the top 10 running backs are. Oh my God, you can go. Nobody. Man, kids nowadays, who the hell is Gale Sayers, Jim Brown? They heard of them, they don't know of them, and you can go on and on and on. It's so hard to pick. So the way you got to do it is, between the 50s and the 50s to 65, 65 to 80, 80 to 95. Just go pick that, and that's the way you do it. We cannot have, they're doing it now in basketball. It's MJ, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, way over to than LeBron James. Because of the difference of there's no 3-point shooter back in the day. You pick your ball up at the half court, you walk in and make a layup. I mean, times have changed. So, it is what it is. I don't care about who's the greatest. There's so many different people.
Right. Well, speaking of greatest here, I mean, one of the greater plays in the NFL, you were a part of. The interception.
Yeah, it was. It actually was twofold. Against the Rams, I remember it made NFL's greatest 100 touchdowns as well as the NFL's greatest volley. So I'm on both ends. It was fun. Yeah, we played the Rams right before the half. I threw a pass. I wanted to just throw it down. I guess hope you can catch it and score wherever it may be. Yeah. They intercepted the Rams defensive back. He ran it back down the field. He actually fumbled it. One of his defensive linemen scooped it up, and he started cutting across the field. And between him and me in the goal line, I was the last line of defense. One of my receivers came down the field from behind him, stripped him of the football, and it bounced up into my hands, and I took it back about 85 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah. What was your 40 time, would you say, at the time there? Because you were really moving there.
I let people know that, hey, them DBs and linebackers, none of them caught me. I'm just trying to let y'all know that, guys. But, back in my day, my 40 was a 4.6. But let me put it this way: when you're running for your life down there, that 4.6 looks like a 4.4.
Right. That's awesome. So I want to get into current football here. We just had the schedule kind of, was released yesterday, so that's always kind of the first step in the NFL season. What's your take? I take it you're still a Saints fan, so in the NFC South, how do you see that shaking out?
Well, you say I'm still a Saints fan. I do radio here for ESPN Radio in New Orleans. And we do, all Saints games. I just do a pregame show, and a postgame show. And so we have to talk about it, as we talked about the other day, and you kind of peg it. And the way we pegged it was we kind of knew that they were going to start out the season with Tom Brady, at the New Orleans Saints against Drew Brees. What a way to start out!
Right.
But we were talking about it, and we were saying that it's a schedule that they have to play the Packers and Detroit and Chicago and Minnesota, so that's a tough division to play. And even they talk about the AFC games. You got the Chargers, the Chiefs, Denver Broncos, and I want to say the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders. So I look at it this way. If you look at, everybody does this. And if anybody tells you they don't, they lie. Everybody looks at the schedule and they go, oh, that's a win, it's a win, it's a loss, it's a win, it's a loss. So everybody does all that. And we know different. We got there, we started projecting, and we said on the radio, look, the Saints could go anywhere from 12 and 4. The worst could be a 10-6, but we're thinking anywhere 11-5, 12-4. It's going to be tough in the division for this reason. Brady, I can see them splitting with Tampa, and sometimes I can see them splitting with Atlanta. They just kind of do that. I don't think they have any problems with Carolina. It's going to be tough with the Brady division. It's going to be tough with Atlanta because everybody knows that Atlanta and New Orleans are. But look, they got Kansas City to play. They got to go to Denver. That's not going to be easy. You got the Chargers coming here. You know what they're going to have the Chargers. You got to go to Vegas when they open up the doggone new season there. Green Bay Packers come to town. You got to go to Chicago. Minnesota comes to town. You go to Detroit. So, I'm getting that, guys. This is not going to be an easy schedule. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were like in the top 5 of being the most difficult schedule. That's pretty tough.
So, do you see what everybody is talking about? This is Breeze's final year indeed, and he's going to end up in the booth taking Chris Collinsworth's seat. Do you see that happening, or what have you heard from Breeze, or have you even talked to him?
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if Drew Brees wins the Super Bowl, he's gone. If it's another one where he's close to it, he plays well and he's close to it. Remember, he signed a 2-year deal, so he's got good money coming from both this season and next season. So if they're playing and it's another one of these, man, I'm knocking on the door again. He might give it that last year, going about his business. But if it doesn't, and the Saints, either play for the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, then I can see him, stepping away. And Drew will do well in the booth. There's no doubt about it. Everybody loves him. He's got a great personality. He knows football, and that's the thing about it is it's time for some changes in some of these booths, some of these guys up there. But yeah, Drew's will give it all he's got this year, and that's what I think the Saints have the team to compete for the Super Bowl this year, and they had it for the last two seasons. So now they just got to knock on that door to get to that game.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't argue there. Yeah.
Before we let you off with this, I want to put you on the hot seat. I know the season hasn't started.
Okay.
But who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl, and what will be the outcome in Tampa next year?
It's hard to predict, like you were saying, but I'll say that. I'm going to break it down this way. In the NFC, you've got some teams. You got the New Orleans Saints, we all know of. You got to watch Dallas. You got to watch Green Bay or Minnesota. Got to keep your eye on that. You got the 49ers, so it's going to be tough. There's 5 teams, maybe Seattle. Those are the teams you really got to watch. I'm not sure about the Rams. But if I had to come down to it, I believe I'm going to say this. I think it's going to be the 49ers and New Orleans Saints as your NFC rep. And then when you look at the AFC, Kansas City, everybody's going to peg them in there. You got to keep an eye on Baltimore. You don't know what you'll get with Baltimore. Those 2 teams there, But I'm not going to give up on the New England Patriots yet, but I think they're going to struggle. You still got to go to Kansas City. If there's to be a wild card team, I have to say, from an AFC standpoint, other than Baltimore or Kansas City, you got to keep your eye on the Pittsburgh Steelers. For some reason, they're going to be there when it comes down to it.
Interesting. And it's
now you want me to pick? I'm going to sit there and say I was going to take the New Orleans Saints will go to the Super Bowl. They're going to take care of probably Kansas City. I'm going to take the Saints and win it. And Drew Brees goes off on his shoulders and wins the Super Bowl, and he retires, and everybody starts a new career.
How did I know you were going to say that? I had a funny feeling you were going to say that. You were going to say the Saints.
It's legit. I mean, I think that's the favorite. Like Vegas had the favorite odds of the matchup, and I think it was KC and New Orleans was the favorite at 12 to 1.
Well, I'll say this. If I don't pick New Orleans and I don't pick KC, let's say you don't pick the 2 favorites. Let's say we get a dark horse. If you go to an AFC dark horse, you can keep the Colts as one. You got to keep your eye on the Colts, and don't underestimate what could happen with the Chargers. I think the Chargers could be a sneaky team there. If you're going to go to the NFC, if you're going to pick the NFC, obviously it's the Saints or the 49ers. If you're going to pick a dark horse there, if you're going to pick an NFC team, I hate to say this, but the Cowboys do have the potential. That's one out there. And if I'm going to say another team, watch out for Minnesota. I just like what they have up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to leave it as this with you. Thank you for picking the Chargers.
The Chargers shout out.
Thank you. Thank you. Because everybody has them dead.
I'm surprised. No, I like the Chargers. Not their quarterback, but I think the young kid probably take over. But I like this narrative. You have never mentioned anything about Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. Do I think they'll be okay? I think they'll be in the playoffs. They'll be like the 6th or whatever, adding a 17, whatever it may be. But I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can sneak in the playoffs. Do I think they can take care of, the Cowboys or the Saints or the Packers? I don't think that'll happen, but just keep an eye on Tampa Bay. You gotta love Tom Brady and you gotta love the Gronk. And, hey, they got a good defense. So they get on fire. They could be a tough team to play against. And, they don't play any cold weather games this year. So that's a big plus for Tampa Bay.
Yep. Well, it was great. We could talk all day talking football.
I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for joining us for a few minutes, John. Look, if it's Saints versus KC in the Super Bowl, maybe you can jump on for a few minutes later on, and we talk about that a few months from now. So hopefully that's
definitely.
The
as soon as it gets closer, guys, we'll get back together and we'll talk about it.
Definitely.
Sounds good.
Sounds good with me.
All right.
All right. Take it
easy.
All
right, y'all take care, guys. Thank you.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
All right, before we get into our next guest, former offensive lineman for the Bucks, Randy Grimes, let's finish our list so then we can get on with the Bucks schedule.
So, my 5th pick, that was fascinating too. Just kind of, he gave a shout out to your Chargers. That made your night.
That made my night. Yes, that totally made my night.
So 5, I have Steve Young. With Steve Young.
Number 5. Oh wow, we both agreed.
Oh wow, we picked Steve Young.
We picked Steve Young at number 5. Wow. What's your reasoning for number 5 though? I want to hear it.
Well, I mean, it's all these quarterbacks are so they won a lot. Most of them have won. They have the yards. They have the teams they played for. I guess why I picked him ahead of some of the other guys. I don't know. It's a coin flip. Brett Favre, Elway. I don't know. Why'd you pick him at 5?
He had the players, the passing yards, everything. I mean, he had the coach. I mean,
yeah.
How can Tampa Bay let him go? That was embarrassing. You could not let him. It's hard to believe we still even had him on our team.
Yeah, it is crazy to think he was a Buccaneer. 4, I have Johnny U. Gotta go Johnny Unitas.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about him at all. And
well, yeah, I mean, because he wasn't our time.
And 4K even gave us a good one that we didn't even think of. Who could forget about Bradshaw?
Well, I thought of him. I did think of him.
I did not think of him at all.
I guess maybe you slip him in 10. It had a Warren Moon for me, but then again, I had my reason for Moon. But Bradshaw is top 15.
My number 4 is Drew Brees. We just got off the phone with a former Saint. I'm sure he can agree with me on that one with his pick because I think he ranked him as number 4, didn't he?
Well, he gave a number of names, and he'd probably be in his top 10 for sure. I mean, the way it sounded.
Still playing to this day. He's going to probably
if he wins this year, he rides.
Yeah,
away.
I believe with John. I believe the same thing as John. If he wins, he's gone. And even if he isn't close, I think he'll play again. Like John said, he signed a 2-year contract.
But it's not the money though. I mean, he could go right in the broadcasting. Take a deal
but
off.
I think he wants that other title. I think he
wants one more. He wants one more. Yeah.
Yeah.
3, Joe Montana.
Number 3 for me is John Elway.
Okay. I mean, I think that's high, but 2, I went Peyton Manning.
2, I went Brett Favre.
That's wild. So you have Manning at 10. I have Manning at 2.
Yep.
I think Peyton is okay. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Can we get a drum roll? My top pick for the greatest quarterback ever, and soon to be Tampa Bay Buccaneer legend, Tom Brady.
It doesn't surprise me he would do this, considering the fact now he's all on the Brady train.
No, so wait. If he was not a Buccaneer, he's still my number one. Still my number one.
Sure.
Oh no, 100%.
Mine is Joe Montana, by far.
By far, I mean but no, I respect that as being that's fine. I mean, yeah, I had him at 3, so yeah.
As we were talking with John, it's different eras. This is what made this interesting and fun. I'm glad we actually did this. It's fun, even though it's different eras. It's always fun to talk about. It really is. I'm glad we talked about it.
It is, and we will continue doing other lists. The list can go on doing running backs or different sports. We could do best baseball players or best center fielders. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Hockey players. Yeah. Wayne Gretzky, best. Number 1. Spoiler alert. Let's go ahead and do it. So, we have Randy Grimes. We're going to give him a call. He was offensive lineman. He played mostly center for the Buccaneers in the mid 80s to I think he started in 85 to 92. I think I might be getting those years wrong, but he played for quite a few years. And he's a second round pick out of Baylor, the Bears.
Hello.
Hi, good evening, Randy. This is Eric and Byron. Welcome to the Sports Nerds.
Hey guys, what's up? How are y'all? We're gonna do this by phone?
Yeah, is this fine with you?
Oh yeah. I didn't know if y'all were gonna do it. No, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We have Randy Grimes on the phone. He played for the Buccaneers, and he was a second-round pick out of Baylor. So thanks for joining us. I kind of want to get right into it. First question.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks. How's you and your family doing in these crazy times?
Yeah, as well as anybody else, you know.
Right.
Considering that we live right here on the beach in West Palm, I can't enjoy it.
Oh.
But no, you know, we're suffering through just like everybody else, but it's all for the better, and hopefully we're on the downhill side.
Right. Yeah, I hear it's I guess that's the worst part of Florida is down in the southeast there, is Palm Beach and Miami.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so the first question I want to ask you is kind of bring you back to your college days. So what was it like playing for Baylor and then being a top pick, a second round pick? Funny, so we've had a few second round picks on the show, and they always go, well, I should have been a first round pick. I thought I'd be a first round pick. So do you have similar feelings there, and kind of just take us through the draft and your college days?
Yeah, well, you know, I had the opportunity to go anywhere in the Southwest Conference that I wanted to, and of course back then it was the Southwest Conference. Now it's the Big 12. But you know, I visited Arkansas and Rice and SMU. Of course, SMU was a place to go back then. You know, with Craig James and Eric Dickerson, they were really coming on. Mike Ford was the quarterback. Great things were going to happen at SMU, and little did we know later why great things were going to happen at SMU, you know, with the death penalty and everything that came on eventually. But, you know, I had a sister at Baylor, and being the good Southern Baptist that I was, I wanted to make Mama proud. And, you know, after going to Baylor and meeting Coach Taft and meeting some of the guys, you know, that were already there, guys that were soon to be first round picks, eventually Hall of Famers like Mike Singletary and Abercrombie and Van McElroy. I mean, we just had such Greg Hawthorne. We just had great players there that were all about 2 years ahead of me. And, meeting those guys and getting to play with them for a couple of years, that was, we were the Peach Bowl champions my freshman year, and then my sophomore year, we were the Southwest Conference champions and got beat by Alabama in the Cotton Bowl. So that was the start of my college career, and, I was in a great place. I was playing center. Had a great offensive line coach playing for a great head coach. And I started seeing these other guys getting drafted, And, about my second year, about my sophomore year, I realized that, I really got serious and really started working towards being the best that I could be. That, maybe I could make a career out of this. It kind of blew my mind that somebody would pay me to play football. That was something I would do gladly for free. So, one thing led to another. I had a good junior year. I had an even better senior year. I went to combines. I did well at the combines. And, my stock just kept going up and up and up. After my last game my senior year and before the draft, just because I was having good combines. I was having good pro days when they came to Baylor to time everybody. I was fortunate to be the 45th pick taken, in the second round, and that was a lot of people say that was the greatest draft of all time because that was the draft that all the quarterbacks were in with Marino and Kelly and Elway. There were some great quarterbacks in that draft, but there was also a lot of great offensive linemen, and it was also the first year of the USFL.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of good linemen went to the USFL that year. A lot of I was drafted by Jersey Generals, so Trump would have been my boss. But I chose to wait it out. Yeah.
I was about to say that Trump was the one who ran that league, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he was the original owner, but I think he took over like in 84 or 85 or something like that. And, I decided to wait it out. I had enough people in my ear telling me that, you're moving up, you're going to be a high pick. Just hang in there. Don't do anything crazy with the USFL because they were throwing all kinds of money around back then. And I did. I waited, and sure enough, I got that call from Coach John McKay, and telling me I was a second-round pick. And see, they didn't have a first-round pick that year. That was the year after the Booker Reese debacle, with Sean Farrell and all that, where they accidentally drafted Booker and had to trade the first-round pick in the 1983 draft to get Sean Farrell. And in 82, so I was their first pick. I was treated like their first pick, but with that comes a lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability, So when I got there, I had to really perform. The pressure was on to do well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you were lucky. You got to spend your whole entire career with the Bucs.
Lucky or unlucky, I guess you can say.
Just take us through the experience. You had so many big quarterbacks that you centered for, but out of them all, future Hall of Famers, who'd you like most? Who'd you like most handing the ball off to?
Well, I'll tell you, in the 10 years that I was there, I had 5 head coaches, 6 different offensive line coaches, and I think I had 3 different GMs, and probably 10 different quarterbacks got up underneath me. When I first got there, during rookie camp, Doug was still there. So I started with Doug Williams, and of course Benny was my last quarterback. But in between there, there was Jack Thompson throwing some on. There was Jerry Goldstein. There was, of course, Steve DeBerg. There was Steve Young. And, Chris Chandler. There was a lot of guys that were filling in there. Obviously, I had the most fun in the huddle
was Steve DeBerg. But as far as just pure talent and physical presence out on the field, you know, nobody's matched Benny. You know, Benny was a great physical specimen. He was a great quarterback. He just, you know, I'm not sure the Bucks were ever just the right fit for him. You know, maybe his quarterback coach, whoever it was at the time, wasn't the right fit. Maybe the head coach wasn't the right fit. Maybe the organization wasn't the right fit. Mm-hmm. But Benny was a great quarterback, and he went on to have, what, a 19-year career or something? Yeah. Something crazy.
Right.
And Benny won a lot of games, and I think there's a few records that he still holds. But, you know, it was just a matter of being in the right place at the right time as far as being a quarterback. I don't think Denny had that luxury in Tampa. You know, DeBerg was great to be with in the huddle. The guy was a leader. He was fun. He made things happen that probably shouldn't have. Steve Young was a great guy to have in the huddle. You know, he was always making a play happen. You never knew where the guy was. You could never pass block for the guy because he was running around so much. You never knew where he was. And so, you know, there was a lot of great quarterbacks back there. It's just, you know, the Bucks were always 1, 2, 3 players away from being a contender, and we just never got there when I was there.
Right. So do you follow the NFL, and are you still a Bucks fan? Would you consider?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, you know, I probably speak twice a week with Gay Colerhouse, you know, the old president of the team. So yeah, I'm a huge Bucks fan, and I follow them. I keep up with them. I still have some friends over in the executive office. So, you know, Bucks will always be my team. You know, I was raised right outside of Dallas, so, you know, it's hard not to be a Cowboys fan also. But, you know, the Bucks are my guys.
So, yeah, obviously we've had it. I don't know if you know, but we're out of Tampa Bay, so we're Bucks fans as well. I don't know if I told you that. Right. Yeah, so what's your? I mean, the off season has been crazy with, you know, Tom Brady, obviously Gronk, and what's your thought of, I guess, adding Tom Brady, but then also the draft, and we'll talk offensive linemen. I was ecstatic to get Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. I'm a big Iowa Hawkeye fan, so I think he's awesome. So what's your thought on adding him, and then obviously Tom Brady?
Well, anytime you can add a big tackle to your mix, and I'm sure Brady had something to do with that. You know, that's probably the first thing he wanted protected was his blind side. And, you know, when you get a guy like that, hopefully he'll turn out to be somebody like Paul Gruber, you know, where he's steady for the next 10 years. You know that position's locked down. You don't have to worry about it. That's my blind side. I don't have to worry that anything's going to be coming from a direction that I can't see. Once you have that kind of confidence in the pocket, then you can be the quarterback that you're supposed to be. And the fact that they went out and they spent the money, they made the effort to go after Brady and probably behind the scenes go after Gronk as well. You know, whether that's enough to get them in the Super Bowl, I don't know. It's sure going to sell a lot of tickets. It's sure going to make the games a lot interesting. And, you know, I'm a big Brady fan. I always have been. That guy's a winner. And how can you not like a winner? And, you know, it's not like we were ever in the AFC. We had to worry about that guy. You know, now that he's part of our organization, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how he plays in warm weather. And you know, I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about it. You know, I'm trying to be careful and not get my expectations too high. That's way too much pressure to put on two older guys.
Sure.
You know, I have to throw that in there too. But you know what? It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to sell a lot of tickets. We're going to win some games because of it. But is it enough to get us into the Super Bowl in Tampa next year? I don't know.
Well, with the schedule release that just came out, like, literally yesterday, I know you as a Bucks fan, just like we all here. What game are you looking forward to the most on that schedule? That they have so many prime games out of the 5. I mean, it's. I heard today. Believe this or not, adding Tom Brady. This is the first year that they've had 5 prime games. The last time they had the same amount of prime games was 4 after they won the Super Bowl in 03. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
So is
So
there
the game I'm looking most forward to is the first one, the one in New Orleans. I mean, I think that's going to be able to tell a lot about what kind of team we're going to be, what kind of season we have, we're going to have, what kind of personnel, are they in the right place, are they ready? I'm excited about that game 1. I think it's going to be a great test for us. I mean, they're a team that's a lot like we are.
Yeah.
So you're not looking forward to the Brady Mahomes rematch?
Well, yeah.
Who's not?
When it comes down to it, that's more of a media game. And, I mean, guys don't think about, hey, Brady versus Mahomes, when they're out on the field. It's just 2 teams that are slugging it out, trying to win a game. But the media is going to have a great time with that.
Oh yeah, by far. They're fighting for it. The main networks are fighting for it. CBS, NBC, Fox. They're fighting for it.
Yeah, of course.
So I guess
look what happened with the draft this year. I mean, look at how many additional viewers it had. So people are hungry for sports right now.
Right.
Right.
And the media is just playing into it.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we let you go, Randy, we always like to ask this question, kind of put the guests on the hot seat. Who do you see in the Super Bowl, and what kind of outcome do you see in that?
That's such just for poops and giggles, okay?
Sure.
I mean, since we don't know really what's going to happen, and it all depends on injuries and karma and luck and the way the ball bounces and all that crap, I don't see any reason why KC's not going to be back. Right now, I don't see any reason why they won't repeat. As far as the NFC is concerned, man, that could go any number of ways. I mean, I'd like to see the Bucks in there. I'd like to see Dallas in there. I'd like to see I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. It could be the Rams. But definitely with the AFC, I see Kansas City.
That's fair.
I don't see anybody stopping them right now.
Right. Well, we want to thank you for joining taking some time out of your day to join us, talk a little football, talk a little Bucks football. Look, if you got some free time during the season, love to have you on again, and we can talk in-season football then.
Sounds good. Anytime, guys. Just let me know. We're going to have a lot to talk about this year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Randy, and have a good night.
Take care. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
See, always a Buck by heart. I knew that coming. You spent so many years with that team. You're going to be a Buck at heart. Any sort of team.
You got to. Yeah.
That's how I feel Brady's going to be. He's always going to be a Patriot at heart. No matter how much I hate the dude, he's going to be always a Patriot at heart. Because he spent the longest time there. So.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure any player will say that. Anywhere they say they're lying to you if they say they don't consider them wherever spot they've been the longest as their home.
Well, we had one guest, where sometimes they're fans of different teams. But yeah, look, when you're playing for an organization for 10 plus years, yeah, I mean, I can't say how you couldn't root for that team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So before we kind of end the show, let's quickly talk
About the schedule? Is that
about
where
the
you're
schedule.
going at?
We got to go schedule. So, what's your feeling? I know obviously they look. You look at games and kind of like John was saying, you win, lose, win, lose. Have you done it? How many wins do the Bucks have?
You want my overall record? Is that what you're trying to ask me?
That is kind of what I am asking you, Byron. Yes.
No, okay. Well, what is your overall record?
So
What do you think? Since you're the true Bucks fan.
look, they've always broke my heart since the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, that was the one time.
Right.
So I expect them to break my heart again. But look, I'm on the train. I'm hyped about it.
Well, yeah, you better be. You bought season tickets.
I bought season tickets too. I'm going 11-5. Going 11-5.
I'm going 9-6.
Okay, look, I could see that happening too. Yeah, do they
their
squeak
schedule?
in?
Their schedule is tough.
Do you think it is tough?
Yes. 2 against Breeze,
Well, that's always, yeah.
Mahomes,
Yeah. I think the Packers are not as good
Teddy
as...
Bridgewater. You look what he did. He proved himself.
That's a different team.
It don't matter. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is going to change that team.
He's got to prove me.
He's going to change
He
that
has to
team.
prove me wrong.
Rodgers, kind of, maybe,
I think the Packers
But-
take a step back.
but that's going to be a tough one. Then you got the Raiders.
Yeah. You're going to Vegas to play the Raiders. But I think...
It's tough.
But I don't know how much of a home field advantage that is.
And the Falcons, they're revamped a little bit. And Matty Ice, you still have to look out for Matty Ice.
I'm not that concerned about the Falcons. Minnesota at home, they're a really good team. That's a tough
Even
game.
the Chargers,
But you're home.
their defense, Chargers defense.
Are they home against Chargers? Or?
Yeah. Third game. I want to go see him, but I guarantee you I can't go because it'll be sold out because of the bandwagoner fans. Damn bandwagoner
I'll
fans.
see what I could do. Let's get Byron to go. Let's find a way to get you in.
Yes. Find a way, please, and then let me know.
But you'll be wearing Chargers gear.
So what?
No,
what?
Forget that. Find your way. Find your own way in.
So what? But before we get off the other topics going on, what game are you looking forward to the most?
I kind of like Randy's, one, the first one, but well, so I'm biased here, so I'm going to have to say the Minnesota game because I have a good friend who's flying down. It seems like, so we're gonna have a really good weekend when the Vikings come into town.
The one I'm really
that's why.
the one I'm really intrigued about, even though Rodgers now has a chip on his shoulder. He's pissed that Green Bay did it. He's pissed. I think that'll be an interesting
Green Bay's home,
game.
right?
Yeah. No, Green Bay. Green Bay is here. Yeah.
because they're letting home
Green
play a
Bay's
cold
here.
weather game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, that's gonna be a fun game to go to you see the Packers play. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Packers fans there.
He'll have a chip on his shoulder for sure.
So yeah, that one's definitely up there. But I think KC. That one. There's so many good games.
There is.
So many good games this year.
There is. So there's other topics too, I might add, besides from the schedule. So it's been confirmed. It was confirmed yesterday by ESPN golf analyst. Lives here in Florida. I forget his name, but it's happening. May 24th finally in Tiger's own domain. We'll get to see where the course that he practices in. It'll be going down.
Oh, is that the Brady?
The Brady,
Peyton Manning.
Manning,
Phil.
Mickelson, and Woods
When is
going
that?
at it.
May what?
May 24th, before Labor Day.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, sorry. Whatever.
Um,
Close enough.
Okay, so May 24th. So that is a Sunday.
Yeah,
It's a Sunday.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
We'll even have our show that day, so we'll get to cover it.
Maybe we'll be like on the beach somewhere and cover it.
I already have one. I think I already have one of the guests. I think I had it, but I lost lost the paper here. Yeah, we have a show that.
Oh, a little sneak peek in the May 24th show.
I think so. I did, but that paper was lost, so give me a second here.
He's got it there somewhere.
Oh, no, I don't.
He
Not
doesn't.
yet.
Oh,
I lost it. So I had to start a new one.
okay.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, like I said, Tiger hasn't played at all this year, hardly, because he's been hurt. He has played, but
So how is it going to be?
for what I understand, I hear it's charity going towards the
Right. So it's pay-per-view?
coronavirus. It's pay-per-view. Yes, that's
Okay.
the only way you can see it. It's on pay-per-view. It's like
What's the cost?
I think it's like $60-$70.
Is it?
Yeah.
So they were playing 18 holes, obviously.
Yeah.
And,
18 holes. And
Or are they playing best ball, or are they playing all four of them?
all four of them. But they're playing as teams.
Right. So, but there's different golf games they could play within that. They could play best.
That
ball.
I don't know. I don't know if that's been established yet.
Okay.
I don't know. So
I'll pay. I'll watch it.
so it's
What else is gonna be on?
So speaking of then what you pay on pay-per-view, I hear it's going to be $60 as well. Also here in Florida, in Jacksonville, to fight. You're
Yes.
our resident UFC analyst here.
Yes.
I try to be, but I can't really watch UFC much like I want to. So tell us, intrigue us, the fans, about this fight that you're hearing about.
Well, so I mean, it was supposed to be someone else. So Tony Ferguson was supposed to be fighting, what's the Russian guy's name? He was supposed to fight him, but now he's fighting an alternate. But look, it's gonna be interesting because there's gonna be no people in the stadium or in wherever they're. It doesn't have to be a stadium. Wherever they're fighting.
I just know
I know
it's in
it's in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville,
Yeah, that's all I know.
So you're just gonna hear their corners shout into. So,
Basically practice for them, basically.
yeah. So kind of as a fight fan, that's interesting. I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out. But yeah, I can't wait for that because look, it's live sports. Speaking, I was watching the face off, like when the two fighters come up and Dana White's there, and they kind of like look at each other awkwardly. Dana White was in a Tampa Bay shirt.
Well, yeah, he's been all over the place because
Dana White was in a Tampa Bay shirt.
Tom is his boy.
I think it was a Tom Brady. Tampa
I know
Bay
he's
shirt.
a New England boy. Dana White, from
Oh,
what
is he?
I understand. Yes, and he will.
Okay, I didn't know
he
that.
said it. He's been all over the place. He will firstly admit he's always a Tom Brady fan because
Well, he was in a Tampa Bay shirt, and I was like, yes.
So he's been doing a lot. I mean, he's been all over the place. He's been doing interviews all over the place with CNBC,
Khabib, that's the guy. Khabib.
CBS, NBC. He's been doing a lot of interviews. So God bless him for trying to get these fights going. I mean, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Tony Ferguson was supposed to fight Khabib.
I know, but he didn't make weight. from what I
No,
understand.
because he's in Russia,
Yeah.
and he couldn't. There was travel issues, or he
Yeah.
didn't want to travel.
So it's going to be an interesting fight. If you want to get out there, go ahead and do it. Pay $60. I would, but I don't really have time to watch UFC, unfortunately. So if you do, if you're a fan of it, go out and
Prelims
get it.
start at 6, and then the main card is at 10.
So before we end you off here, for Sunday, we will be having 2 former NFL players as well. We'll have on Mark Edwards and Matt Robinson. I still have to confirm with them tomorrow to make sure they are on, but as of now,
Perfect.
I know they are on.
And on
And-
Sunday, Mother's Day too.
And Mother's Day,
So make
yes.
sure you
Get your
Get
mom
it.
some.
get flowers and a card at
And-
least.
Before you head out, let us know where you can find us before we head
So
off.
yeah, so the kind of the show's growing here, and you find us on YouTube. And Byron, help me out here. So YouTube, obviously Facebook,
Facebook Live,
Facebook Live, Spotify,
Spotify, Apple Pod,
Apple
Anchor.
Pod, Anchor.
Did we already say Spotify?
We did. I did.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. So,
So,
all those apps.
We're continuing to
to
grow,
grow.
and it's exciting. So stay tuned for next show. Thanks, and have a good night.